and Philadelphia has it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to DSM pregame live streaming to you here exclusively on DSM Media's YouTube channel. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you check us out over on Twitter at DSM_media. Hit that follow button. We greatly appreciate it. And while you're over on the page, make sure you check out the link tree in our bio. It'll take you to every social media platform we are available on. Like I said, we're streaming exclusively here on the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to be involved in every single DSM pregame live or involved in any of our other shows, the YouTube channel is the best place to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up and shared on the screen with us. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We greatly appreciate it. I am one half of your host, Dylan Davis. You can find me at DylanJD98. To my right, my co-host Scotty. You can find him as well at Scotty Drown. The Sixers heading out west to Golden State to take on Steph Curry and the Warriors after finding themselves back in the win column with a big blowout win in the Windy City in Chicago, splitting that back-to-back home-away series with the Bulls. My man, how are you feeling on this Friday afternoon?
I'm feeling very good, man. I'm feeling really good. So we obviously got some Sixers late night action tonight, which I actually don't mind. It's Friday. I'm going to be up a little late anyways. So it gives me some extra entertainment at the end of the night, and then gives us some time to watch March Madness as well in between.
Ooh.
So it's kind of a win-win situation for me. And then I got France right after we get done this pod. So it's an eventful day. I'm going to probably grab some brews after this and get my night started. But yeah, happy Friday, man. We're here, and my work week is done.
Long week, right? Long week.
Yeah. It was a long week.
You, man.
We got a lot of content in, and here we are again, man.
I am with you. But before we get into tonight's matchups, so we're going to get into keys to victory, key matchups, X factors, predictions, all that good stuff. No best bets for the time being, but don't worry, those will be out for you guys on the Twitter channel, on the Twitter page, I should say. Before that tip off happens, we got 7 hours till tip off almost. So we were good there. But let's talk about this 116-91 Sixers victory on the road against the Bulls, man. Obviously, no James Harden in this one. Had the left Achilles soreness, left Achilles tightness, whatever they were calling it. So he sits out. Joel Embiid does not return to the bench, does not return to the court after halftime. There was some speculation going on throughout the broadcast on, they're up by 30, they're up by 25. He's just not coming back out. Comes out after the game. He's got some calf tightness. He's questionable tonight. Harden's questionable tonight. But all in all, this was a big win for the Sixers. And it's impressive because they continue to answer the call every time slight negativity creeps into our minds, right? So you saw it against the Heat a couple weeks ago, right after the All-Star break. We lose James Harden gets a last-second look, misses, hits the front of the rim. We lose at home to Miami. They go on the road right back to Miami, blow them out of the water right on their home floor. You do the same thing here, right? You lose to Chicago. It's a bad loss. You lose Harden, and you just respond in a perfect way. Tobias Harris, lights out. Tyrese Maxey, lights out. Anthony Melton, lights out, man. What did you like from this game the other night?
Yeah, I like the overall vibe of the team. That's what I took away from it. They came out firing. I think they started the game like 17-0 at one point. May even have increased it more than that. It may have been 19-0, but nonetheless, started the game double-digit lead from the beginning, from the jump. And they never looked back. They never let go of that. Even with Embiid sitting out in the second half, they were still able to maintain it. Now, obviously, our best bet of Maxey over 4.5 assists didn't hit. We did lay the 3.5 earlier in the day. That did hit. He got 4 assists, so one under the best bet. But nonetheless, what I liked about the team, they were moving the ball around a lot, right? And they were moving it around well. You had Embiid with 7 assists. You had Tobias with 8 assists in this game. Melton had 4 assists. Maxey had 4 assists. So it's like everybody was spreading the ball around. Everybody was moving around, getting open shots, and playing confidently. I think that was the best part of all of it, right? We see Melton out there. He's letting the threes fly. He's looking more athletic. He's getting steals. He's getting into the paint. Had a little flex moment where he grabs the rebound over Drummond and then bodies somebody for a bucket in the paint. I'm liking what I'm seeing, man. Like you said, every time some negativity creeps back in, this team answers the call. And guys are stepping up whenever guys have to, take some time off. If it's Harden, we get a W, right? Harden doesn't have to worry about missing that game. If Embiid needed a second half rest in that game, we were still able to get that W. Even that game against Miami, you referenced, whenever they lost in Philly, went down to Miami. Embiid and Harden didn't play in that matchup. Once they went down to Miami, they still get that win back. So that's guys stepping up in moments when we need them. And I think it's ultimately going to shape our team better, right? When we have guys like Shake and Melton who are able to get a lot more minutes with Harden missing that game, you're getting them more and more playing time together. And I think it's just going to help us down the line because, like we talked about, I believe it was on the previous show, Harden and Embiid, they can't be on the floor at all times. So
you're not going to play 48 minutes
be able to,
every night
to compromise, right?
Correct. How much of this help? How much of this other guys stepping up when guys get injured or have an off night can you realistically attribute to the month of December, late November, early December, when Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and James Harden were all missing weeks at a time? D'Anthony Melton, Shake Milton, all had to step up. Can you attribute any of that to their confidence levels right now? Like saying, okay, Joel's out, James is out. We know what we have to do. We know what we're capable of doing. And you kind of see that on a night-to-night basis now.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. They were able to build that confidence. And that's why you can see a guy like D'Anthony Melton come out in this game and lead the team in scoring with 25 points, right? You can see Maxey's had his nights this season. Shake, he's had his nights this season. He's able to play confidently right now. Daniel House getting his confidence back. Paul Reed's giving us great minutes. I mean, we even saw a little bit of Trez in this game, right? So, I mean, that just shows you how much everything was rolling in this game. But yeah, I can't speak to it enough, especially in something that we didn't even mention this guy yet, but Tobias Harris, you said he played really well. I know you said that at the beginning, but getting him right, I think, is really the key there.
For sure.
Getting him with the ball in his hands, getting that confidence, right? It's not going to be asked of him all the time, and I think that's where he gets a little confused from time to time.
Right, that's the frustrating
have a reminder
part.
Like this.
That is the frustrating part at times, specifically when you're talking about Toby, is the happy medium, right? Like you see what he's capable of with the ball, with all that responsibility, with having to run a lot of the offense with those guys out. And then it's like, okay, you take some of that pressure, some of that weight off his shoulders. But when your number's called upon, I need that Tobias in a fraction of what you're giving me the other night in Chicago. And it's like when those guys are on the floor with them, you can't find that Tobias at times. You don't find that aggressive Tobias. You don't find that assertive Tobias. And that's the part that's frustrating. It's like, just give me that, like Tyrese Maxey. Give me that aggressive Tyrese Maxey in a little smaller version with those stars on the floor next to you. And that's what will elevate this team come playoff time, is if you get these great versions of these other guys with the stars on the floor with them. That's what they need to continue to figure out. And don't get me wrong, they've started to do that. They had the best record in the NBA going back since when James Harden returned. So clearly they're doing something right together. But I truly believe you obviously need Joel and James to be 100% healthy to make a championship run. And then I need this version in a smaller sample size, because they're not going to have the ball as much, from the others. Right? I need D'Anthony Melton to shoot confidently from three and knock down 2 or 3 threes per game next to James Harden. I need Tobias Harris to give me 14 to 15 points a night assertively with Joel Embiid on the floor.
Good decision making, right?
Exactly.
Quick decisions. That's what we saw against Chicago. That's what pisses you off, the hesitation. Stop hesitating. You can still play the same. You just might not touch the ball as much. It's not that difficult, right, to get that through your head. I do like just the awareness of Daniel House and George Niang as well.
He's definitely found himself back in the rotation, right?
Yeah, I think I think once we get to the playoffs, it'll be either or between those two. I think it'll be either Daniel House or Georges Niang, and it's going to depend a lot on matchup, who's playing better at the time. I think Jalen McDaniels, if he's healthy, I think he's that guy that's always going to be in there, and then you're just going to move one of those two in. But I just like that they're both always ready, whether it's Daniel House off the bench first or starting. George Niang is ready to come off the bench and hit some threes as well of late. So both of those guys are playing with good vibes right now. I would say that around the entire team right now. They're all playing with some great confidence.
Confidence is the key word right there,
Yeah.
man. But all right, let's get into this matchup against Golden State tonight. And it's going to be a tough one, Scotty. As you know, playing Steph and Clay and Draymond is never going to be a fun or easy time as the opposing fan base, but more specifically in Oracle, in Golden State this year. They are a different team. They just got their first road win the other night, I think, since the month of January. That's how poor this team has been on the road. They still have injuries. The Andrew Wiggins situation, he's been out for a while. Gary Payton, they're missing a couple guys, but all in all, they have their two stars, guys, and they have Draymond on the floor. So they're basically fully loaded against you tonight. Man, I don't even know what to give you as far as keys. It's you need the Sixers best, right? That's what you need tonight. You need Joel Embiid and or James Harden to be out there if you want to win this game. I'm not saying to play them and forget the injuries. If they're injured, do not play them. Obviously, my attention is on the playoffs. But in terms of this game, if you want a chance to win, you need those two healthy out there tonight, and you need the Sixers best, man. So what do you got for me in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head at the beginning there. The Warriors are just a completely different animal at home, and that's kind of the main thing with this game, right? They're going to be happy to be home. I think that's the biggest thing, aside from them being so good at being home, playing at home. This is their first home game in 5 games, right? They played 5 games straight on the road, so they're going to be happy to get back into the Oracle Arena. And is it still the Oracle? I'm sorry, I may be calling it the wrong arena.
I thought it was. Oh no, it's the Chase Center now. Okay.
Chase Center, Chase Center in San Fran now, since they moved and built the new arena. But nonetheless, I think they're going to be happy to be back home. My first key to victory, man, I'll give it to you outright here. Embiid playing. He has to play. To your point. I know James Harden, I think I would lean towards him not playing personally, and I don't know how you feel on that front, but
I probably agree with you.
If Embiid, if it is what everybody has made it out to be with Joel Embiid, I'm playing him tonight just because why not? Like, if he's good to go, then he's good to go, right? So I don't know if the calf tightness was a smokescreen for him not playing the second half of that Chicago. I don't know what happened in there. If he's really got some calf issues, then you don't want to play him and risk further injury. I'm going under the assumption that Embiid is playing tonight, and that is going to be my first key to victory because he is the mismatch, right? You look at Golden State. Who do they have? They have an answer for Tyrese Maxey. His name is Stephen Curry, right? James Harden doesn't play, especially makes that case even worse. And then they do have Jordan Poole. They have guys that can light it up. Dante DiVincenzo is a guy that's been playing.
Shout out Villanova.
Yeah, shout out to the Villanova boys. So they got some guys that light it up. And you're looking at the second highest scoring team in the NBA, right? And that's highly inflated from home play. What was that?
Quickest pace team as well.
Quickest pace as well, which to an alternative standpoint, the opposite, right? If Embiid doesn't play, that may allow the Sixers to keep up with the pace a little bit better. But if Embiid plays, that allows you to slow the game down. Maybe.
Exactly.
So,
it does not allow you, if Embiid doesn't play, you have no way of dictating the pace tonight.
Exactly. That's a better way to put it.
If he plays, you have a chance to balance that out and try to get them to play your game, at least for a percentage of
slow
tonight.
This thing down, right?
Yeah.
Sixers one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. You want to slow this down. That's the thing. The Warriors want to play that high tempo, high scoring type of game, and that's what they love to do. You look at their defense. They give up 118 points per game. They score 118.4. So they like to score, and they like to be the team that's going to score the most. So you're going to have to come out tonight. That would be my second key to victory. Start fast. Don't let that Chase Arena start cranking up a notch. Don't let the Splash Bros get hot in there and get that crowd involved. I mean, you got Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, and Jordan Poole that you're looking at out there. Don't let Draymond block somebody or, do some Draymond type of thing to get the crowd going. You got to start fast. You can't turn the ball over. That's like probably one of the biggest things tonight, aside from rebounding that we always hit on. Turning the ball over. You cannot turn the ball over. You may not have James Harden tonight. That's your main ball handler. So that's going to be another focal point for me.
So I have 3 things. First, I'll start with the big fella. You are 110% correct. If he does not play tonight, Forget this. The Sixers are losing this matchup tonight.
Yeah.
Hope I'm wrong somehow. Hope Paul Reed or Dwayne Dow or PJ Tucker plays the 5 and they shoot the lights out, whatever the case is. I don't believe the Sixers have a chance in hell if Joel Embiid misses the game and James Harden misses the game as well. So my first key is under the assumption that Joel is playing is to feed the big fella. You mentioned it. He can dictate pace for the Sixers offensively. They have no response for him. Draymond's way too undersized. Kevon Looney is no answer for Joel Embiid. You're going to dig down your bench? Go right ahead. Every team tries, no succeed. So feed the big fella if he is healthy enough to play tonight. Option 2, key number 2. You have to shoot a high field goal percentage tonight. Yeah. You cannot miss open looks against this team because if they pile up, we're going to get into the third quarter. And if Toby misses his third open 3 from the corner and Niang's 1 for 5 from 3, those misses are going to pile up. We're going to say, you're missing too many. It's like when you're playing Patrick Mahomes, you can't score. You can't kick field goals and expect to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, right? You cannot miss a multitude of open looks tonight against this team. Key number 3 is physicality. Now, listen, I do not like the Memphis Grizzlies. Come playoff time, it's going to be a different ballgame. I do not know. But what I do know is there is bad blood between Golden State and Memphis right now. And while I love Klay Thompson and he's 100% correct, Dylan Brooks is a punk. Dylan Brooks, they're no dynasty. This is getting old by Klay on the bench, too. You know why? Because they keep losing this year to Memphis. Do you know why? Memphis is incredibly physical with them. Yeah. If you watch tonight's game, there is going to be a lot of off-ball movement, a lot of off-ball screens to set up Steph and Klay and Jordan Poole open for threes. Dante DiVincenzo. They're number 1 or 2 in assists in the entire association. They share the ball and they move a shit ton. Yeah. You have to be physical. You want to run through a couple screens and you pick up a foul here and there, do it. If you want to run someone out of the lane, if you want to rub someone the wrong way, do it. I'm not saying play dirty, obviously, but you have to be physical with this team and let them know, hey, I'm not going under the screen every time. Yeah. You're not going to set this and you're not going to set up Steph for a 6th open 3 tonight.
It's going to come down to physicality. I love that key to victory. It's going to come down to that and the fundamentals of the game, right? That's something that the Warriors
turnovers,
are
like you mentioned,
rebounding. And that's my final key to victory that I have written down here is one shot possessions for the Golden State Warriors. If you get into these offensive rebounding fits where you're giving up multiple 3-point attempts on one possession, this game is going to be over quick. It doesn't just stop at like Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole. Like you said, Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Lamb is a guy that can hit it from outside. They got other guys out there. Jonathan Kuminga is a guy that's going to be out there. Yep. So, I mean, they can shoot the ball. They can score the rock. That's what they do. They're one of the best in the league. They're top 2 in it. And that's why it's so important that you have one-shot possessions against this team. And that all feeds into physicality, knowing where you're supposed to be, focus. All of that feeds into everything that we're saying here. And, of course, health of the team. That's going to be a big part of it as well. And Embiid has to play to have a chance.
Do you know why rebounding and not turning the ball over and being physical is so key in a matchup like tonight? If Joel plays, if not, if Maxey, you are not going to outshine what they're going. You're not going to outdo what they're trying to accomplish tonight in Golden State. You are not going to knock down more threes, most likely, than Golden State tonight. It's just not going to happen. So, tonight is the definition. West Coast 10 p.m. game, right? I think it's on NBA TV. This is the definition of a Tyrese Maxey masterclass. All that explicitness. Guess what? That's not how you're going to beat them. No. If Tyrese is giving you 29, I promise you one of them's got over 35.
And I will say they have a ton of guys they can throw at Tyrese Maxey with no Harden out there tonight. Yes. They have a ton of guys they can throw at him.
You have to muck this game up, be physical, limit them to one shot. Do not give them extra possessions with turnovers and shoot a high percentage from the field. That is the bottom line tonight. Listen, the Golden State Warriors have been far from perfect. They are not the same Golden State. I know they're coming off a championship win. They are not that same team right now, right?
They're 38 and 6.
The Sixers are fully healthy. The Sixers are a better team. The problem is you're on the road. That doesn't help. You're probably not having Harden or McDaniels. You might not have this just doesn't feel right. This is why everything would have to go perfect tonight for the Sixers.
Yeah,
With that being said, you mentioned like, oh, hoping Embiid plays, maybe Harden. We're so focused on the playoffs. That is the common goal. Get them there 100% healthy, right?
Yeah.
So tonight really means zilch in terms of that stance.
Yeah.
This schedule coming up is a gauntlet.
Yeah.
This schedule from here on out is obviously number one across the association for a reason. So you got to try to squeak out as many as you can somehow, some way. So muck this one up, boys.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. You got to muck this up. They're 38-36 in the season, but they are 29-7 at home.
Yeah.
So
it's
that shows you
monster, bro.
Right there. 29 of their 38 wins are at home, right? So they win a lot at home.
Steph's different at home. Clay's different at home. Draymond's different at home. Like tonight, I guarantee you see a Draymond 3 from the top of the key. The dude probably shoots 24% from 3 or something, but I guarantee you get one from the top of the key that he hasn't made in 8 weeks. I don't know.
It always happens, right? Yeah, 100%. And then they go on the road to Phoenix tomorrow. So, it'll be interesting to see how they play this back-to-back, who plays, who doesn't. Because you got a Phoenix team tomorrow. There's no KD. There's no DeAndre Ayton for them. It'll be interesting.
Listen, if we're being transparent here, if you're talking about philosophy and how you kind of want to balance these games, I know we're talking about, if you want to win tonight, Joel, let's play. I'm sitting them. Because to me, if there's a chance that he and or Harden both play tomorrow is the more winnable game on the road with those injuries you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, if you play Joel and Harden tonight, that is not a guaranteed win against this Warriors team on the road. Tomorrow, it's not guaranteed. It's a little more foreseeable.
I do wonder, man, how many, and I'm not saying that this is a reason for him to play. If he's injured, he's injured. But how many games before he falls back down that MVP ladder that Joel could miss, right? He missed half a game in Chicago. So that's going to bring the numbers down alone. But missing another game then on top of that does count as a game played at least. But if you miss another game tonight, I don't know. We would have to take a look and see how many back-to-backs they have left, stuff like that.
Yeah.
8 games left, though? So, I mean,
right.
They're all clumped into a little time slot here, though. It's like a 14-day span for 8 games.
And now here we are battling our demons.
You can't prioritize MVP over
exactly. But we know how badly we all want it for him because he's not going to be in this opportunity again, most likely.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if he's healthy, that's the thing.
Yeah. I think that's a big point.
We're speculating right now. We don't know.
What was the conversation you and I had after was that the first Chicago game? Yeah, the first Chicago game with the Harden news, right? What was our conversation about with the decision? Doc comes afterwards and says, well, he's been dealing with this. That is the bottom line. Guess what, fella? Like, if you are good to go, you are good to go. If not, forget about it. So Joel Embiid plays tonight. I am expecting that Joel Embiid is not hindered one single minute percent against the Golden State Warriors tonight that could F something up down the line. He's either good or he's not. If he's not, his ass stays right on the bench or he gets his rehab in and he looks at potentially at Phoenix, right? Yeah. I'm not so it's going to be telling for sure what they decide to do tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that said, man, let's get into, obviously, we don't have our best bets. There's nothing really out on the books yet at 3:40 p.m. with a 10 p.m. game in terms of player props, but we can give you guys our predictions and our X factor. So, Scotty, if the Sixers were to win tonight, who is your standout star?
If the Sixers were to win tonight, it would have to be Joel Embiid, to be clear. It would take one of his MVP level type of performances. I'm talking 30, 35 points, at least 3 blocks, doing it on the defensive end, 2-3 blocks, hitting the boards because they are, like you said, one of the better rebounding teams. It would take Joel Embiid to muck this game up, have a good defensive scheme and ready to go against this Warriors unit that can score the laces off the ball. If the Sixers want to get a win tonight, Embiid will have to play. He'll have to be healthy, and we'll need an MVP type of effort out of Embiid in order to win this one on the road against the Warriors. These are the defending champs at the end of the day. We got to remember that and put that into perspective. The record doesn't really speak to what caliber this team is. They haven't been healthy a lot of the season. So they're gonna be happy to be at home tonight, man. And that's why I'm gonna go and pick the Warriors to win this game ultimately. Like we've talked about every time on the show when we have to pick against the Sixers, we can't pick them to win every single game.
Right.
This is
Are
an
they supposed to
incredible
go
team at
82-0?
home. Yeah, they're not going to be 82-0, right? And this is a time where there's a lot of uncertainty.
Listen,
I mean, if they're beat up, yeah,
yeah,
if they're beat up, I hear you.
I'm with you. Like I said, there should be no question mark. There should be no we're rolling the dice here.
Yeah, no rolling the dice. It's not for an MVP award. No.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't hate the idea. Harden, I think more so than anything.
You need him against Denver.
Yeah,
maybe not send him home. We can't. See, that's the thing. But if he's injured, he's injured. It is what it is. That's the thing. We'll find out tonight, man.
100%. Let me tell you this. Normally, we pick different stars just for the sake of conversation. Got to be honest with you, man. I share your prediction on both ends. I do not think that the Sixers win tonight. We're not going to pick them to go 82-0. I picked them for a loss when they won. You picked them for a loss when they've won before. So maybe we give them some reverse jinx luck tonight. It just doesn't look like it's in the cards, right? You got a big win in Chicago. You're beat up. You could be missing your 2 stars. Even if not, you're probably missing at least one. You're on. It's just it doesn't look good tonight. With that said, God.
I was going to say, if you ask yourself, like at this point, would the Sixers beat the Warriors on the road without just James Harden? Let's say he's the only one out tonight. Would they be the one of 8 times the Warriors lose at home this season without James Harden? Like, you know what I mean? You got to be real with yourself. So I hear you there.
Secondly, if they are to win, which is part of our standout star criteria, it's to help elevate them to a W. I got to go. There's nobody else. I see the comment, need a big game from D'Anthony and Maxey. You do need a big game from everybody. They have to fire on all cylinders, but there is no shot in hell that they are winning this game without a big game, without a masterclass from 21.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sorry. He can dictate pace. He can dictate the post. He can get them in foul trouble. He's going to be your leader in scoring, rebounding. You need him tonight, man. Yeah. So if he plays, he's going to be the star of the game if they were able to come away with a win. As we talked through the show and Phil's comments, dude, I'm probably not playing him unless he is 1000% fine. And that whole tightness thing the other night was smoky mirrors, right? Not really true, whatever. If that's true, I'm not even risking him re-aggravating it tonight. I'm probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there. It comes down to his health, and we can't risk it at the end of the day. It sucks to say that because this is a big stretch, and I don't want to like bow out. I don't want it to be one of those, just kind of bowing out during a tough part of the schedule. But it is what it is. If his calf is tight, it's tight, right?
It's not a bailout to anybody. The funny thing, you'll get the casuals on social media that see that, that he missed another. I don't care. I want him to win the MVP. I want him on the floor to give us the best chance to win night to night. Our sole focus with, what did you say he's left? 8 games?
Yeah, something like that.
8, 9, whatever the case is. The focus is on the playoffs, man. Whether you want the 2 seed, you want the 1 seed. Not the 1 seed, you want the 2 seed to have home court in the second round, potentially. Just make sure they're 100% healthy because, as you know, Scotty, with them being both 100% healthy, it doesn't matter what the matchup is. That is their best selves, okay? Yeah. So that's the bottom line, man. Get ready for this. Get ready for this marathon.
It sucks that we have these question marks right now, but it is what it is. You got.
Well, it sucks that it's a conversation. It's another year, same conversation, and I'm not like throwing a jab at either of them to be like, oh, we're stuck in, because neither injury seems serious at the moment, right? They're both questionable tonight. Yeah, but the fact that we're having this same conversation brings that up.
If Embiid doesn't play this weekend, though, people are going to freak out for sure.
That's fine.
It's going to happen. It's going to be a freak out.
What I would tell those people is exactly what I just said. Do you want them 100% healthy in the playoffs or not?
Yeah. You got to ask yourself that question.
So With that said, man, obviously, guys, if you're watching right now, we do not have our best bets out. We will get those out, post them on the Twitter, TikTok, IG pages all later tonight before tip off. If you guys are tailing, throw us a screenshot, throw us a comment on what you're riding with tonight. We're green almost every night, my man. We're 2 for 3, but we're still looking for that perfect 3 for 3 night,
sure.
And go 100% from the field. That is going to wrap up this edition of DSM Pregame Live. Guys, don't forget to check us out on Twitter at DSM_media. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. For myself, for Scotty, for the rest of DSM, have a great weekend and go Sixers.
Go Sixers.
And Philadelphia has it.